Hello, I'm Bobby Hawk, and I am a member of the Blue Springs Board of Education, and I am seeking re-election to the school board on April the 5th. These are 5-minute Fridays where I take about 5 minutes each Friday to address some questions or even some concerns that you as voters might have regarding the upcoming school board election. And one of the questions that has come up is, can you share what you have done in the past 3 years on the Board of Education? It's a good question. Voters like to know the history of candidates, especially incumbents. And so I do want to answer that question, but I can't really answer that question as what have I done? Because what I have done is I've collaborated with a board of 7 to work on facing some of the challenges that we've had and making some of the progress that we've made. But it is not me, it is we. So I'd really like to answer that question. And what have we done as a board over the past 3 years since I have served in this term, and hopefully give you some insight into some of the accomplishments that I am proud of our board and our school district for. First of all, let's go back to about 3 years ago. When I first came on the board, the previous board had voted in, with the help of the community, had put together a bond campaign that the community voted on. And then we were entrusted as a board, once I was elected, to make sure that those projects were complete, and we did. And that was a fun process to get the freshmen moved from the Freshman Center to Blue Springs South, to do a lot of the other projects that were a part of that bond. But it did require part 2. And part 2 of that bond we put together, we presented to the community. I had a privilege to sit in many of your homes in bond coffees to talk about the excitement of moving the remaining freshmen to Blue Springs High School with that large addition, to take care of some of the other needs in our district with our elementary and middle schools, but also to then turn the current freshman center into a career tech center where we could increase the career pathways that we have for students at Blue Springs. And I'm so excited that you, the community, supported that and have made that possible. The other things that I want to highlight just from the past few years, there are many and many things to be excited about, but we've provided now one-to-one devices for students, even down to the elementary level. And that's really important for learning, especially learning in this day and age. We've hired additional LPCs and now some RNs to be in our schools to help with the mental and physical health of our students. That's really exciting and really important. There's some other things that we've done to focus on student diversity by not only hiring a diversity coordinator, but making sure that we have a diversity team in place to make sure that all students are represented and represented well in our district. Now, there are certain things that we've been able to do as we focused on staff salaries. When I first came on the board, we were able to approve an increase to the teacher's salary, which increased the base at that time, and then it increased the salary schedule throughout. We've been able to do additions to salary schedules both on the teacher side, on the staff side, even the administration side in the last 3 years. And most recently, just earlier this week, we were able to approve another increase, which will bring our teacher salary base to $40,000. There's an increase throughout not only the teacher's salaries, but through all the salary schedules. And we put some special attention and focus on our transportation, nutrition services, paraprofessionals, and others to make sure that we're as competitive as we possibly can be with those salary schedules. And so making sure to take care of our staff, even in the midst of COVID, has been important to us. Let's talk about COVID, because out of the last 3 years, 2 of those years have been COVID and the challenges that COVID has presented to us. In the midst of that, besides making decisions that affect everybody in the school district, whether it's mask or no mask, trying to find ways for virtual learning to keep kids in person, I will say one of the things I'm proud of is that we were keeping kids in person, that wanted that option the entire time through COVID. And we feel that's very important, while other school districts were not necessarily doing that. And then one of the biggest tasks that a school board is charged with is hiring a superintendent and working with him. And during my time, we've seen the retirement of Dr. Paul Kinder, and we have now, for the last 8 months, had Dr. Bob Jerome leading our school district and doing an excellent job. And so being a part of that process and hiring a superintendent is one of the most important things a school board member does, and it was a privilege to be part of that process. There's a lot of things that just earlier this week we also approved that we've been working on for a while. We will now have, within the next 2 years, as we hire people, we'll have Department of Public Safety officer or school resource officer in every one of our buildings, which I think is very important to student safety. We're increasing our counselors, the number of counselors over the next 2 years to continue to address mental health. We're hiring some additional administrators and administrative interns at the elementary level to make sure each building has the support that they need. And we're hiring 25 additional special education teachers to make sure that our special services continue to be the best they can be in the Blue Springs School District. So there's a lot of things that we've been able to do, a lot of things that I'm proud of. But I'm proud of that because we as a team have been able to come together, not just a board, but the administration, not just the administration, but the teachers and the staff in our school district, you, the parents in our community supporting bond projects. And together over the past 3 years, we have accomplished a lot, even in the face of undaunting times and circumstances that COVID has brought our way. So I'm excited about what we have accomplished, and I'm excited, if elected on April 5th, to continue to partner together with the Board of Education and the other members to continue to make Blue Springs School District the best that it can be in the future. And so with your vote on April 5th, I'd love to continue to serve the Blue Springs School District and the team that we have made together. So thank you for your support, and continue to watch on Fridays as I continue to answer questions and concerns that you might have. Send me an email, bobby@hawkforschoolboard.com, or a message through Facebook. I'll address as many of these as possible. See you again soon.